JBN, we keep you informed. Gunman shot dead by licensed firearm holder. An unidentified male was shot and killed by a licensed firearm holder in Hanover on Sunday. Reports are that about 1:10 a.m., a motorist was fixing his truck that broke down along the Chester Castle Main Road in Hanover when he was approached by a lone gunman. Reports are that the firearm holder managed to pull his weapon and challenge his attacker, who was shot dead in the process. A Glock 9mm pistol was seized and handed over to the police. Investigation continues into the incident. St. Elizabeth teacher in custody for allegedly sexual assaulting students. A teacher employed to a school in St. Elizabeth is to be questioned by the police for at least 4 reported cases of sexual assault involving minors. The 24-year-old accused, whose identity has been withheld pending a further probe, was taken into custody by the police late last week. Reports are that investigators attached to the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse have received complaints alleging that the teacher sexually assaulted students at the institution where he works. The students are said to be under the age of 16 years, and so far the police have received 4 reports detailing sexual assaults. The educator remains in custody. 8 shot, 2 dead. Police in East Kingston are cautioning event promoters to ensure they secure permits for their events, following a midnight attack that saw 8 people shot, 2 of them fatally, as they partied on a roof in Bayshore Park near Arborview, St. Andrew on Saturday. According to investigations, the 8 persons were at the event on Talmena Avenue when masked gunmen entered and opened fire at the crowd. Head of the Kingston Eastern Police Superintendent Victor Hamilton has since confirmed that a permit had not been granted for the event. Persons must respect the rule of law. If the police doesn't grant a permit, it is because we think that the area is not safe, and we think persons gathering in such groups could expose themselves to danger, as was manifested last night, Hamilton said. We thought the area was tense. There were some tensions. There was a potential for drive-bys or some attack on persons in groups, and that is exactly how it was played out. The shooting is believed to be an act of reprisal, following an incident last Sunday in which 16-year-old Justin Foster was shot by unknown assailants in the same community while at his gate. The East Kingston police have been kept busy all week with the implementation of curfews following flare-up of gun violence in Southside and off Windward Road, which left multiple persons dead. Superintendent Hamilton said a permit could not be granted for any dance in Arborview because the area was considered unsafe. As the Yuletide season gets underway, he said the possibility of more reprisal killings exists and has cautioned persons to be vigilant while trying to enjoy themselves. While Christmas is coming, there are a lot of killings and a lot of angry persons out there waiting for an opportunity to catch persons partying, he said. We are not trying to shut down people's lives or for them not to enjoy themselves, but they too have a responsibility to protect their lives. So after we have stabilized the communities, the parties will go on. After we have caught the gunmen or we have displaced them, the parties will go on. But as long as we feel that they are still in the area, and as long as the threat of reprisals are there, we cannot give permits, he warned. The Major Investigation Division is currently leading the probe into the shooting. 6 injured in crashes involving JLP supporters on Sunday. 6 people were injured in 2 separate crashes that involved motorists heading to the public session of the Jamaica Labour Party's JLP 76th Annual Conference at the National Arena in St. Andrew on Sunday. In one of the incidents, the police have launched a search for the driver of a coaster bus who fled the scene after the unit he was operating was involved in a 4-way vehicular collision along the Mandela Highway. The police said at least 4 people were rushed to the hospital after the crash that involved the coaster bus, a Honda SUV, a Range Rover, and a Prado motor vehicle. The incident occurred at about 11:30 a.m. One of the investigating officers said minutes before the crash, the police stopped the driver of the same coaster bus and warned him about how he was driving with the political supporters on board the vehicle. The police officer said in response, he was disrespected by some persons traveling on the bus. I spoke to the driver because he was driving and swaying the vehicle all over the road, the police officer said. The police said they removed the bus from the crash scene and are checking particulars of the vehicle to track down the driver. The other incident took place along the Constant Spring Road, where a female political supporter who was sitting on the window of a bus carrying supporters fell from the moving vehicle. Reports and police sources are that at least one other person who was traveling on top of the bus was also injured. Following the incident, the police said the issue of motorcyclists disregarding the law and committing multiple breaches while traveling to and from political events has been a long-standing problem that they have been grappling with over the years. Followers of both political parties are each year stopped and warned, but in many instances end up hurling expletives or abuse otherwise against law enforcement officers on many occasions because they are around political figures and feel empowered to misbehave, a police officer said. Linstead politician laments $4 million loss in gas truck robbery. Businessman and councillor for the Tradeways Division in Linstead, St. Catherine, Sidney Rose, said he lost at least $4 million in property and cash when 3 gunmen robbed and beat one of his employees who was delivering cooking gas on Saturday, November 16. The incident happened in the Savannah area of Linstead about 4 p.m., said the Jamaica Constabulary Force, which added that the vehicle stolen is a white Isuzu motor truck. Rose explained that based on information provided to him, someone telephoned his cooking gas company and made an order. His driver went to the location and was delivering the gas when a young man reportedly held him and flung him to the ground. It is alleged that 2 other men armed with guns emerged from nearby bushes. They took the driver's documents, TRN, cellular phone, as well as cash belonging to the driver and to the company. They asked the driver to proceed over into some bushes with them. They put his clothes over his head and threw him over a ravine. He was able to pull himself out of the bushes and ask a lady who was passing for assistance. She lent him her phone and he made a call. The driver was badly beaten. He sought medical attention at a local private institution. We couldn't wait. You know, if him got the hospital, them a go stay too long, Rose further added. He said that the gunmen stole his vehicle, which was loaded with cylinders of varying sizes. You're talking about roughly $4 million worth of losses, because the cylinders value a whole lot, and they are full of gas, plus the truck, plus the cash, Rose added. He further said his operation has been crippled by the loss of a truck, which according to him was not covered by comprehensive insurance. It's like they didn't take my hand and my foot. Without a vehicle, I can't perform. The vehicle is what we use to do deliveries, Rose said. He also expressed surprise that gunmen could have stolen a motor truck so easily, while a state of emergency is in effect in Linstead and other parts of St. Catherine. We have a state of emergency, can you believe that? And the truck disappeared in a thin year, Rose said. He noted that this is the second time within a year that he is losing a truck as a result of theft. In relation to the previously stolen truck, he explained, I left it at the driver's house right at the gate, and he said the truck just disappeared in thin air. Attorney takes Chuck and Custos to court over JP rejection. A legal showdown is looming over a decision by Custos of Kingston, Steadman Fuller to reject an application by controversial attorney Isat Buchanan to become a Justice of the Peace, JP. Buchanan was admitted to practice law in Jamaica in 2017, despite the fact that he has 2 drug convictions, one locally and the other in the United States, for which he was given a 10-year prison sentence. But Justice Minister Delroy Chucker's charged that Buchanan failed to disclose either convictions on the form he completed as part of the process to become a JP. He never declared his conviction in Jamaica. He was asked on the form if he had any previous conviction and he said no, Chuck claimed in an interview. And then when the truth came out, he was asked, but you have previous convictions? And he said yes, he did, the Justice Minister asserted. Chuck said it was on the basis that Fuller indicated that Buchanan was disqualified from becoming a JP. He didn't tell the truth. The Custos felt that disqualified him immediately, charged the Justice Minister, who is also an attorney. Buchanan claimed that he has taken both Chuck and Fuller to court, but avoided questions about whether he had declared his convictions on the JP application form. Instead, he invoked the sub judice rule, which bars detailed discussion on pending litigation, and chastised the Justice Minister for his comments to the media. I am surprised as to why the Minister of Justice, who sits at the helm of the Justice Ministry, would seek to influence public opinion and possibly that of the judiciary, he said when questioned to respond to claims that he did not declare his convictions. The minister sought to do so by putting out a statement in relation to a case in respect of which is a named party, and he has not to date filed a defense in response to the filed claim, Buchanan continued. He said, while Chuck may feel comfortable flouting the rules of our justice system, I am bound by them. I am an attorney at law who is aware of the canons of this noble profession, and accordingly I am bound by the subjudice rule, that is, where a matter is under judicial consideration before the court, the parties are prohibited from discussing it in public. Buchanan also expressed the view that Chuck's utterances will prejudice his constitutional right to have his case heard by an impartial tribunal. This discussion is more egregious coming from the Minister of Justice, whose portfolio judiciary falls under, he said. Chuck acknowledged that he and Fuller have already been served with court documents related to the lawsuit and said they have been forwarded to the Office of the Attorney General. I have provided an affidavit, and I think the Custos provided an affidavit, he disclosed. He revealed too that he offered to assist Buchanan with his desire to become a JP. I said to him, "Why don't you wait until I modify the law, which I intend to do, so that matters like yours can be expunged? And once it's expunged, you're in a better position," Chuck said, recounting a conversation he said he had with Buchanan. According to Chuck, this offer was rejected. He said he must be commissioned as a JP and that I should overturn the Custos position, which I said I am not doing. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.